Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and today I am covering the 5th anniversary 9-hole cup tournament. This is going to be the qualifying round. Shot a -16, so overall, a very good scorecard. Absolutely happy with that. And at the end of the day, we just hope that we can repeat something like this in the final round, or even try to build upon it, which will be tough to do. Shooting, -17s are difficult. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you find the content in this video helpful. And secondly, please hit that thumbs up button and give the video a like before you exit out of the video. All right. A couple things on this particular walkthrough that you're going to see is some of the holes, I'm going to give you 2 different ways to play them. This is going to be depending on, your own club strength and things of that nature and ball selection. So just bear with me because a couple of the holes, there are multiple ways that we can go about playing them. But hole number 1, we're going to try to play this one as standard as possible. Now, I want you to take a look at the graphic here. So let's pause it right here. All right, so we're going to apply our spins. We are then going to check our overpower. Then we're going to pull this one 10% at max. And then we're going to push our rings back up based on the amount of overpower that we have. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's actually pretty easy. And this hole does provide us a great chance for an eagle. A lot of people think that this hole is easier to eagle than it really is, but I don't think so. I think it is kind of technical, and you will see a lot of opponents end up in the sand or in the rough, all right? More opponents than not do eagle this hole, right? In comparison to a normal par 4, this one does give us a great chance. But again, apply our spins, check our overpower, which I'll show you how to do, 10% at max, and then push up the amount of rings of overpower that we go into. So pretty easy here. All right, I'm going to go, right at 5 top, 2 bars of side spin to the right. Anything over 5 bars of top spin, you're going to run the chance that you're going to go past the green and roll slightly into the rough. Now, here, after my spins are applied, I'm checking my overpower. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing my target up towards the green, right? And then I've got that second bounce right there on the second fairway, with my third bounce trying to get into the rough, or onto the fairway. So here I'm fast forwarding. So we really want it to look like that, okay? Now, if you take a look at my target, this is a perfect shot. This is exactly what we want our ball to do to try to get onto the green, okay? Second bounce, that second fairway, third bounce in the rough, and then when it hits that rough, the ball is going to roll out, okay? That's what we're looking for. Right now, if you take a look at my target, you are going to see that there's a vertical line, okay? It makes my orange target, little bitty part of my bottom of my orange target is a normal color. The other part is a darker color. My entire yellow ring is in that dark color, and then about 3/4 of my red ring is in that darker color. That's 1.75 or 1.8 rings of overpower. So if that's the case, what I would need to do is once I adjust my rings, I would need to push back up 1.8 rings, and that would make that shot accurate. Now, with 2.2 miles per hour, we're not going to be pulling 1.8 rings. It's going to be a little bit less than that. So in a low wind, you're just going to be pushing back up to max. But let's say you have 4.5 mile per hour wind and your overpower is 2 rings, but you pull 2.5 rings to adjust, you would then push your rings back up 2.2 rings. That sounds complicated. It's just a lot to explain, but I promise it's not complicated, if you get it. If those things are confusing to you, these aren't shots that we use too much in rookie or pro with checking the rings of overpower. But, if you want to become a member of the channel, I can put you into our group chat. And we do have players like myself who can explain these things to you and become a better player overall. And you can always check the description of this video to become a member of the channel if you like. But you see here, we do get ourselves right next to the pin. It ended up being a perfect shot. And then you saw here that on my drive, I had to use a little bit of overpower, okay? It wasn't much. But the reason I had to use a little bit of overpower is because I had to push back up to max. I wasn't able to push up 1.8 rings which is what I needed. Again, I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot, but you know, sometimes it is the details that matter, that help. So, all right, we're not going to spend more time there. Hole number 2, hopefully hole number 2 is going to be consistent. Here, you know, we're going with a little bit more than half a bar of backspin. Call that about 0.7 bars of backspin. And this is basically a no moving target shot, okay? So we apply our spin without moving the target at all, and then we move the target to adjust for the wind. We play this one 10% at max. All we're trying to do is catch the slope here and get our ball to shoot down towards the pin, and then, of course, hopefully roll into the cup, which is exactly what we get the ball to do here. So you see we come in, center a pin. All we did was apply about 0.7 bars of backspin, and then we pulled 10% at max. That's it. So take a look at it again. Again, no moving target. That means right now, as soon as the game starts, I'm just applying my backspin. Just like that. Pretty easy. And then we move our target to adjust for the wind. That's it. Hole number 2. Take you 10 seconds to play, and then you're good to go. Hole number 3, we're going to be going with a power slice, okay? We are going to be checking our landing spot, and then we're just shooting. So basically apply our spins, which on a quarterback here, we're going to go with max top. Okay, so whatever your max top is, 2 bars of side spin to the left. We're going to be using a reference point for our slice. Whenever we do slice shots, we're not adjusting for any elevation. We're just trying to find the landing spot here. With the quarterback 10, my top of my white ring is at the rough line, okay? My ball guideline is just to the left of that pink bush. Now, depending on your quarterback, this may slightly vary a little bit. You might want to take a practice shot. You do have to keep in mind that when people play power shots, they're not 100% duplicatable, all right? It's going to depend on your club level, but this is a really good starting point to get you for an albatross opportunity. Here, we're not using any overpower, okay? This is a normal shot. We're going full curl, full slice to the right. All we're trying to do is hit the fairway like this and just roll out. That's all that we're looking for. We would like to be more right-hand side, so I do wonder if we were to take 1 bar of side spin to the left off and play it with 1 side spin left, what would happen? Okay, my shot here is being played 0% at mid. I want you to try minus 10% at mid, okay? I want you to try to play it uphill. Now, the shot's not uphill, but this is just the way that the wind push that we're getting and a way to manipulate the game to try to get us closer to the pin, all right? That's what I suggest. You can look here. I'm going for the rough bump. Notice my setup into the rough. I'm just spinning until the ball is to the hole. Okay, that's it. I've got my yellow ring playing on the rough line. So yellow ring on the rough, and then I'm just spinning to the hole. Again, I played this one at the 0% at mid. I would like you to try to play it minus 10% at mid and see what happens. I mean, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to drop. But if I would have played it at that distance, then, or that elevation, I would have been closer. As you see here, I just end up pulling too many rings to the right, and we barely miss. Hole number 4, this is a hole in which I have 2 options to play. If you have a lower level big topper, you actually have the advantage here. It's a bit easier for this shot. I want you to go as much top spin as possible combined with 2 bars of side spin to the right. Though 2 bars of side spin to the right is the more important one. Take a note here where I'm lining up with the big topper 3. It's about at the +1 yard mark. You can see my green inner ring is right there on the rough. Ball guideline. My ball guideline is in the rough, just like that, okay? Obviously, that top spin is going to help us power through the rough. This is really another very short par 4, which gives us a great opportunity to get ourselves into the hole for an eagle. Here, I'm using half a ball of curl with no overpower. Perfect shot, and you see that we do come through very nicely. This ball is going to hit the fairway. It's going to roll through the rough, and then it's going to bounce out. Now, the only thing that we really have to talk about here now is going to be shot number 2. Shot number 2, you're going to see that I'm playing minus 10%. You're going to have to evaluate where you're at with your club distance, right? So it's all going to depend on your drive. You can see here for me, I'm at minimum distance. So I'm playing this one minus 10% at absolute minimum distance. You know, just make sure you move your target around so you can figure out whether you're at minimum or mid. You should be at one of those two or somewhere in between, okay? And this is going to be with the big topper drive and shot number 2. If you have higher level extra miles, I'm going to show you another way that you can go about this drive. See, the ball kicks in very nicely, goes into the hole for the eagle. All right, extra mile players, you know, higher level extra mile players, we can go with 6 top, 3 bars of side spin to the right. We can go ahead and put our yellow ring right there on the rough line, just like that. Take a look at where the ball guideline is. Ball guideline is going right into the sand trap, okay? Almost touching the rough, but it is in the sand. And then, of course, all we're going to do here is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to apply curl to make sure that we don't go into the sand, right? This is about, you know, a little bit more curl than we played with the big topper. But you can see here, I want you to note here that this came very close to hitting the rough and rolling out, okay? That would have stunk if that would have done that. So make sure that on this shot, you do not accidentally overpower your shot. Had I overpowered this shot, you know, I would have definitely clipped the rough and I would not have had a chance to be taking a shot like this for the eagle. Same thing here, though, on shot number 2. Shot number 2 is going to be played the same, minus 10%. Just check your own distance of your club, okay? So there's 2 different drives on how to play that hole. This will take us here to hole number 5. Hole number 5, this is going to be another power shot, okay? We're going to find the landing spot, then shoot. If you're able to get this power shot down on this hole, you will always be in an opportunity to try to pick up the albatross, which I do have the albatross here. So I showed you a minus 16 scorecard. If you hit this shot and you get all the other ones, you'll have a minus 17 because I didn't pick up the albatross on that account. I ended up hitting a great shot, so I had to get the eagle. Now, again, depending on your extra mile club level, you're going to have to take a couple practice shots to figure out where do you need to start in order to get this power shot down. I'm giving you a basis point. Anybody that has an extra mile level 8, well, then you're going to be in good luck because you'll be able to sort of just line up very close to where I'm at, right? So apply your spins, full top, full side spin to the right. Yes, if you have an extra mile level 9, you can absolutely feel free to go ahead and use your full top spin. There's nothing wrong with that. Here I am counting my rings, okay? It's 13.8 rings with an extra mile 8 to play power shots here. And then I take a little bit off due to the 2.5 mile per hour adjustment. I'm not going to really go through all of that at the moment, but here I want you to see where the ball guideline is settled up on. Take a look at the 3 little bushes right there, okay? So if you look at my blue ring, we have, you know, that's where the top part of those 3 bushes are. You can see here that my ball guideline is going over that left-handmost bush. This is full overpower, full curl to the right, full slice to the right. You can see here, we get a nice kick, we get a great rollout, which is going to put us in a good opportunity to get ourselves that albatross shot. Now, here I'm playing this one 10% at minimum, but again, you know, you're going to have to check the distance of your club because we are doing a power shot and we just don't know how many yards you're going to get. Maybe you get more than me, maybe you get less than me. But at the end of the day, you just have to make sure you check your own distance. Anytime we're using power shots, it's going to be hard for you and I to get the same yardage on the drive. So if I'm suggesting a shot at minimum distance, you'd have to be very close to my yardage. But the shot does play 10%. It's always played a pretty consistent 10% on shot number 2 like this. And we do get this ball to go in very nicely for the albatross. Now, I'll say one thing. If you're not too thrilled to go for that shot, There is another shot here. You see these trees and that sand trap on the right-hand side of the fairway? There is a way to go with max topspin. You can go big dog, or not big dog, sorry. You can go big top or you can go your extra mile. There is a way to go max topspin and shoot that ball through the gap of the trees and over the sand trap. Now, the only bad part is that sometimes you could clip those tree branches and fall into the sand. You know, obviously you should be okay. You should still be able to make it to the green in 2. But that's one thing to do as well if you don't like this shot. All right, this is going to be hole number, I forget where we're at now. But anyway, this is the next hole. This shot right here is for folks who don't have high-level snipers. You can go with your Viper, all right? The Viper is going to play 10% at max. Katana ball, green ring right there on the top of the rough. Notice I'm going with 1 bar of backspin. This is just a basis point for people who don't have a high-level sniper. This is a starting spot with a Viper. I didn't take time to try to dial it in, but I did want to show this for people who don't have the ability to play with that high-level club. But you will see here for a one-and-done shot with a perfect ball, I am pretty close to getting this one to go in. So all you would have to do is make some minor tweaks, and you can see there that, you know, again, it's in a really good position. Now, this is going to be for the sniper players. We're going to play the same 10% at max. We're going to do something a little bit different with the spins because we do get a better ball guideline here, of course. We are going to keep the 1 bar of backspin, but we're going to go with 1 bar of side spin to the right as well. We're trying to put our green inner ring at the top of the rough line there. And then you can sort of see here how we have this better ball guideline. Now, this is not going to play true. We're not actually going to go behind the pin and try to sneak it in on the slope. The way this ball kicks off the rough, it's just going to go ahead and roll right towards the pin. With perfect shots, including practice mode, I made 2 out of 3, so that's pretty good, especially for a more difficult par 3 like this. So I hope that you have success on that one as well, and then we move on to the next hole. Here I'm going to give you 2 different ways to play this hole. One is with a Titan, full top, 2 bars of side spin to the right, or sorry, to the left. You saw that I said no adjustment needed. That means we're just going to apply our spins. We're going to find the landing spot. Here for me, when I push my target into max, you can see here I put the right side of my yellow ring right there on the sand line, okay? That's a good spot in this wind angle, and then I just go full OP. I'm going max blast. Here, a very minor great shot to the left, but I do let this thing fly. And you're going to see that it does come in very nicely, and it sits at 423 yards. That'll take us for shot number 2, which is going to be played with our backbone, all right? 10% at minimum is what I'm playing here. You're going to notice I go heavy on the backspin, about 5.2 back, and then I'm looking to get my ball guideline center of the cup, leaving it just a little bit short. We are getting a tailwind push here, so it's important that we do leave our ball guideline just a tad short when we apply this type of spin. But you'll see I make the adjustment. You'll see that I hit a perfect shot, and then you'll see that we do pick up the eagle. Now, the next way I'm going to play is going to be for people who just really want to go bombs away and try to get yourself in thorn range. Pretty easy to do. Same thing, no adjustment needed, full top, 2 bars of side spin to the left. This time, since we have a more powerful ball, I'm not aiming with my yellow ring on the rough line. I'm aiming with half of my yellow ring in the sand, half of it on the fairway. That's a good starting spot. The wind push is going to push us over the sand trap anyways. So you're going to see here that the sand trap is no problem. We're actually going above and in between that right-hand sand trap. Now, a nasty great left could put you into that other sand trap, but, you know, we got to hit good balls. All right, so 10% at club distance. Again, this tournament is full of, you know, crazier shots that aren't going to be 100% duplicatable as far as drive distance goes for me and you, even if we have the same clubs. So you're going to play this shot 10%, And then you want to just figure out your own club distance. For me, I played it 80% slider. So if you do get yourself around 443 yards, I'm playing it 80% slider. So I'm basically playing it between mid and max. All right? I'm playing it between mid and max. If you're not good with the slider on Clash Caddy or Golf Clash Notebook, do the simple math. It's really easy with a thorn. For example, let's say medium distance is 2.5 rings and max distance is 3.0. Well, all you're going to do is play that somewhere in between, okay? So, you know, the difference between 2.5 and 3.0 is half of a ring. So instead of playing at 2.5 or 3.0, just play at 2.7 or 2.8. That'll get you pretty close and probably into the hole, all right? But that's it for that hole. Now we move on to this one, which is darn near very, very, very difficult to get ourselves into the hole for a hole-in-one. I'm going to go max backspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. I'll show you my setup point. You know, maybe with seeing a perfect shot, you might be able to get this one to drop. Now listen, I'm going to completely understand if you don't want to play this shot. I was getting super greedy. You can see here I am very, very close to that sand line on the right-hand side. Of course, a bad, great right shot will probably put you into the sand. So if you just want to play this one for the birdie, just land on the green with a max backspin guardian shot and call it a day. If you want to try to dial in the hole-in-one, take a look at this shot here. Look at where I'm aiming, just like this. And then I'm going to pull it 40% at mid. Perfect ball. Even though I aimed it directly aligned with the hole, I still went a little bit long. But, I mean, it's pretty close at the end of the day for this particular hole. All right, this is it. This is the final hole. This is definitely the most difficult par 5. Here, because we're going to have a headwind drive, we're going to go ahead and use the Kingmaker. I recommend going with a big dog for shot number 2 on this hole. I do think that's going to be the best option. You can play it with a high-level sniper. But again, you know, I definitely recommend the big dog for shot number 2. Perfect ball, comes up very nicely. You'll see this one comes in easy enough, 367. Both shots are played 0% at max, so the drive and this shot 0% at max. I went with full top, 3 bars of side spin to the left here. You're going to notice that basically I'm just trying to split the fairway in half, leaving myself room for a great left, leaving myself room for a great right. I think that's pretty important. The one thing I want to tell you to not do on this hole is don't go crazy with your overpower, okay? You need to hit perfect so that you don't land in the rough or the sand. Because as long as you're able to get, you know, yourself onto the fairway, even if you don't get this high up, you can still get your eagle on the hole, all right? This one's a tough one to land on the green on. That is it for rookie qualifying round. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up and check out the description below for more stuff. Thanks, everybody.